Hey everyone, I'm Ryan, you're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this video, I'm going to start a mini series of videos where I kind of reset my Strat here, my trusty Mexican Strat that I've had for probably over a decade now. Oh, easily over a decade now, for sure, like 15, 16 years. So anyways, I did a refinish job on this thing years and years ago, before all this YouTube nonsense, before having a podcast. I tried my hand at doing a sparkle finish on this guitar, and the way I went about it was I sprayed down a layer of metallic spray paint, and then I sprayed on a layer of clear, and then I just sprinkled as much glitter on as I could to get this thing nice and fuzzy with glitter. And then I just started coating it with more spray poly clear coat. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't look into resources on how to do this correctly. There wasn't that much information out there back then. And I just made a big gloopy mess of it. Eventually, when it finally set up hard, after like a year, because I put the finish on so thick so quickly that it was just soft for like a long time. After it hardened up, I was able to get a nice flat sand and high grit polish on the top, making it nice and glossy, and it looks good from about 10 feet away. But then on the back and the sides, especially in the cutaway crevices and stuff like that, it's just a gloopy, snotty mess. And there's a lot of inconsistencies in the glitter, places where there were bubbles and things like that, and drips. Like, I just did an awful job of this. And I did learn from my mistakes. I gave it another try. I didn't just quit. And I did a much better job on this guitar. I got the finish a lot thinner. The glitter is a lot more even because I wasn't trying to make it hairy with glitter. I realized you don't need to have, 6 pounds of glitter on a guitar to make it sparkle. And I got a much cleaner, glossier finish on that. So I lived and I learned. I've always been kind of bummed out by this finish for years now. And I think I'm ready to take it back down to wood, start fresh with this guitar, maybe do some more experimental stuff with the finish, maybe in the direction of what I did with the Bullet Mustang, where I was attacking it with, paint pens and stuff like that, and having just kind of loose, sloppy fun with it. And also, once I get this thing all stripped down and figure out what I want to do with the finish, I've got a bunch of upgrades I'm going to throw at this thing. A while back, a company called Octave Doctor hit me up. They're like, hey, can we send you some pickups? And it's taken me a while to get around to it, but I'm going to throw these things in there. It's a more traditional set of Strat pickups. Right now I've got in this guitar a set of pickups that was made for us by a fan of the show back in like the first year of the podcast or something like that. And they're great pickups. He worked for a pickup company. I forget which one, sorry. And they were some sort of experiment he was working on where the pickups are wound super, super loose, and it gives it certain audio qualities and things like that. And they're great sounding, but they're like really smooth, really kind of like creamy sounding pickups. I want that hard quack that you get from a classic Strat set. So I'm excited to swap these in and have a more classic Strat sort of sound. Also, I hit up Sean from Gun Street Wiring Shop and I said, hey, I'm gonna be working on the Strat project. Do you want to help me out with a wiring harness so I don't have to do extra work? And he said, absolutely. So he's gonna be sending me a traditional Strat wiring harness. So I'll have, the traditional volume, tone, and a 5-way switch. But we're gonna do a little extra thing. We're gonna do a push-pull on that first tone to do series wiring. So I can do some series switching, just to experiment with that. I've never had a guitar with series switching on it, so I wanted to try that out. But otherwise, it should sound like a normal Strat when I'm done. Also, one more thing. The tuners on this guitar are the original tuners, the original made in Mexico outfitted tuners, and the little plastic rings separating the tuning peg from the rest of the tuner are starting to fall apart and deteriorate. And I mean, if I'm gonna be working on this guitar, I might as well upgrade stuff like that and fix stuff like that. I've got this set of tuners from Graphtec that they embarrassingly sent me a year and a half ago. Embarrassing for me that I've spent this long waiting to put them into something. But these are really cool tuners. They're called ratio tuners. And the concept is that if you turn like your low E a full turn all the way around, every single other tuner in the set is ratio matched to that tuner so that it'll be the same pitch change across all the tuners. So if you figured out like, oh, if I turn it a half turn, I'll drop a note. You could do that whole turn on all of them and get musical with like your detuning and stuff like that. They're probably a great set for people who do a lot of tuning changes on the fly, but I'm just excited to have something newer, fresher in this guitar. They're also locking tuners, which is a great feature to have. So, what next? Let's plug it in, see what it sounds like now for reference, and then just start taking this thing apart. That's the bridge, here's the middle. And here is the neck. And this is all of them on. Like I said, it's a great sounding set of pickups, and I'll probably put them in something else someday. But I just need that classic Stratty quack for the time being. All right, let's start attacking this thing with the drill, and then I'll start taking it apart and putting the heat gun on this to take that paint off. I know this is gonna bum some people out. I know some people are gonna be angry, like why would you de-sparkle a guitar? It's just too gloopy, and it makes me sad. It makes me sad to like kind of play this guitar and feel what a bad job I did on the paint. And I'm gonna take it down to something uglier, and then maybe I'll find something, you know, prettier to do with it. I don't know. Maybe I'll try my hand at doing another sparkle job. I don't know. I'm a little bit bummed to have to trash these strings because they're those coated D'Addario, and they would have lasted a heck of a lot longer. But oh well. I've had these strings on this guitar for 3 months, something like that, and they're not showing any corrosion or wear at all. They were still glossy. There it is. The pick guard is out. Man, I really got this thing glopped up with paint. I wonder if I'll be able to strip paint out of the cavity here. At one point, you can see I opened up this route here. I had a different pick guard on here that had... I've been making modifications to this guitar since I got it. Since the early 2000s. At one point I had a normal Strat setup in here, but then a hot rail floating in between the two. So I had a 4 pickup setup in here, which is why I stripped that out. And then the screws on these pickups were extra long, and instead of trimming these, I don't think I had a Dremel at the time. Instead of trimming these, I drilled out deeper holes for those screws. This guitar's been through a lot, guys. I've put it through a lot of abuse. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to make things better. I'm still going to play you. I'm not going to throw you away. I think that's something that I love so much about Fender guitars is because they're modular and the components are so robust, you can just keep experimenting and abusing them and coming back to them and resetting them forever and ever and ever. All right, so there we go. The body is free of all attachments. Oh, I've managed to chip some of the paint off right here. That gives me hope that this will just peel off nice and easy. That copper metallic initial spray is just sitting right underneath it. So yeah, maybe this will be an easy strip. I was worried that it would be difficult. I'm going to take some more pictures of this awful job I did of the finish, and then I'm going to take it out in the front yard on a sawhorse and heat strip this thing down to bare wood, hopefully. All right, I did it. I took all of my paint and the rest of the original paint off. I had forgotten how sloppy I was. I didn't even take all of the original paint off when I put the glitter coat on this. The entire back and the sides were covered in the original sparkle blue polyurethane coat. So I used the heat gun and stripped that all away. And I was remembering the state of this thing before I refinished it. I had been slowly chipping away at the original finish with like screwdrivers and pocket knives for years, which is why there's all these, you know, like chunks and gashes out of the body. Because I really didn't like that original blue sparkle, believe it or not. I'm not a fan of blue guitars in the general sense. So yeah, now I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this thing. Maybe I leave it kind of raw and throw a little bit of oil or clear on it just to lock it in and go for like a rat rod type of look. The paint that is down in the gashes is like this copper metallic. That might look kind of cool. It catches the light every now and then a little bit or something. Or I could just put a really simple flat coat of paint on here. I could do the paint pen thing. I still need to attack inside of the cutaways here that crystal hard clear coat that they put underneath all the paint on fenders is still there. So I need a hand sand in there and get that all out. That's gonna be a pain in the ass. But I'm excited. I'm excited to have a project. I'm excited to update and upgrade this Strat and have a more normal Strat in my collection that I can use in videos. It's surprising I haven't had a standard example of a Strat for a while. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude, nasty comments. Go check out these tuners from Graph Tech. I'll have links down below. Go check out Octave Doctor. They are kind of the driving force between me even starting to do this, me thinking about getting my Strat into a more normal state. And Gun Street Wiring Shop as well, because they're going to be contributing to this project. And stay grounded and stay tuned, because I'm going to keep working on this thing. All right. Bye, everybody.